That 93% of guitar players overcomplicate guitar playing because they think they need to know music theory in order to do that?
93%.
Yeah. Did you know that? I didn't know that. This guy on YouTube says it, so it must be true.
Oh, that commercial. I saw that yesterday. Mastery or something.
Yeah. Learn to instantly solo in any key over your entire fret.
Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. Like,
Nice job.
Well done, sir. It's all good.
Hello,
no,
and welcome to Unity Vancouver Island's pre-service meditation. My name is Don Giberson, and it's my honor to be your prayer guide today. If you are joining live, welcome. And if you're listening to the recording of this meditation, welcome as well. I invite you now to just take a moment to get still, and if it feels comfortable for you, to close your eyes.
That's how it's supposed to be. Well, I guess I could.
You can unplug.
And allow your attention to focus
Plug
on your breathing.
Plug into here. That's right.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'll just.
If you want to, yeah, for the sound.
And without trying to control it in any way, just observe and notice the easy, gentle rhythm of the air as it moves in and out, in and out. And as you focus on the breath, allow your body to relax. Allow your mind to still. And allow your emotions to become calm. As we focus on the breath, it brings us into the present moment. And now we focus on that inner place where we connect with spirit and are one with spirit. And what we are going to do this morning is a meditation called the Coherence Meditation from Heart Math Institute. And I invite you now to think about a time when someone expressed love or appreciation towards you, or a time when you expressed love or appreciation to someone else. And you might want to put a hand on your heart just to connect with that loving energy. And as you remember that experience, allow it to gently bring a smile to your face. And feeling into that space and energy of love. As you breathe in, imagine that you are breathing in through your heart. And imagine that as the breath passes through your heart, it is charged and infused with your unique loving energy. And as you breathe out, imagine sending that loving energy out to every cell in your body. Imagine your breath charged with your loving energy, filling every single nook and cranny and space of your body. Every cell and every space between the cells being bathed in your loving energy. And now, as you breathe out, imagine that loving energy expanding out beyond your body, expanding out in all directions, growing and growing until it takes in the entire building that you are in. Or if you are outside, the entire space around you. And as you breathe out, imagine every person, every animal, every plant, every living being, every living creature within that space being blessed and bathed by your loving energy as you send it out. Breathing out love and loving energy and having it being experienced and expressed, and having it being experienced and blessing every person, animal, plant within your space or within your building. And now, as you breathe out, imagine that loving energy expanding yet again, moving out in all directions, east, west, north, south, above and below, expanding and expanding until the entire city or town that you're in is bathed in your loving energy. And once again, imagine every person, every living creature, every plant, tree, all of the water, the streams, the lakes, the rivers, all being bathed and blessed and transformed and healed by the loving energy that you are sending out. And once again, as you breathe out, imagine your loving energy expanding yet again, expanding to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, above you and below you, expanding and expanding until it takes in the entire province or state that you live in. Imagine every cubic inch of your province or state being bathed in your loving energy. And imagine every person, every man, woman, child, every creature, every tree, plant, blade of grass, all of the water in the air, in the ground, in the rivers and lakes and streams, all being blessed and bathed, transformed and healed by your loving energy. And as you breathe out, once again, imagine that loving energy passing out and expanding in all directions once again, east and west, north and south, above and below, expanding and expanding and expanding until the entire country is bathed in your loving energy. And once again, imagine that loving energy as it expands. It transforms, heals, bathes, and blesses every person, every creature, every plant, tree, shrub, the air and the water, all of nature and all of God's creations being blessed, healed, and transformed by your loving energy. And now, once again, as you breathe out, imagine that loving energy expanding once more, moving in all directions, east and west, north and south, above you and below you, expanding and expanding until it takes in and envelops the entire continent. And once again, imagining every person, every creature, the air, the water, every plant, tree, shrub, blade of grass, all of nature being blessed, being bathed in your loving energy and being healed and transformed by the loving energy that you are sending out. And breathing out yet again, imagine that loving energy expanding and moving once more, expanding yet again to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, above and below, expanding in all directions, expanding and expanding until the entire planet Earth is bathed and enveloped by your loving energy. And imagine again every person, creature, all of God's creations being bathed in, blessed by, healed, and transformed by your loving energy. And as you breathe out yet again, once more expand, imagine that loving energy expanding in all directions, expanding now beyond our planet, expanding out in all directions to take in the entire universe. So that the entire universe and all the planets and all the space in between is enveloped by your loving energy. And take a moment to just acknowledge the beauty and the sacredness of this time and this work, knowing that sending out this loving energy is healing and transforming our world. So take a moment now to just express your gratitude and start to gently bring your attention back to the current time and space, feeling the chair or the sofa or the bed beneath you, wiggling your fingers and your toes as you reconnect and reestablish your connection with your body and your physical presence. And when you are ready, open your eyes. and be here now. Thank you for joining me for this pre-service meditation. Whether if you're joining live, I invite you to get a drink, refresh your cup, and join us for our Sunday service experience. And if you're listening to the recording, I invite you to listen to the recording of today's service. Thank you once again for joining me for this pre-service meditation. Namaste.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization of divine point of view, this door
is open.
Oh, this door
is open.
This door right here
This door is open.
For
This
you.
door is open.
Oh, this door
is open.
I'll talk about this door.
Is open.
I said this door
This door
is open to you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door
is open.
Is open to you.
Yeah, guys.
And this door is indeed open to you. Welcome, everyone. We want to acknowledge, first of all, that we are situated on the ancestral traditional land of the Nanaimo people here in Nanaimo, and wherever you are on Vancouver Island or Turtle Island, there is an indigenous nation that is responsible for having kept the land over thousands of years, and we just take a moment to sit in gratitude for that. And welcome everyone, those of you who are in the house, those of you who are online, welcome, welcome, no matter where you are on your spiritual path or your geographic location, you are welcome in this place. Unity is a positive path to spiritual living, and we celebrate all paths to spiritual living and all opinions and all thoughts, knowing that our thought is creative. So you are welcome. Would you join me in repeating the vision of Unity Worldwide Ministries? which is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Thank you, and now let's have some more music.
Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony in one great symphony. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee, in one great family. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing freedom today. I'm choosing freedom today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I choose forgiveness today. I choose forgiveness today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing healing today. I'm choosing healing today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road to heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Yeah.
Thank you, music team. Would you join me in a moment of affirmative prayer? And let us just allow the words of those songs to be true for us. And remember and be grateful for the wisdom that we have in knowing that we always have choice. In every situation, we can respond at choice. And so knowing that we can always see potential in every situation, we choose right now to sit in love, to magnify that love, to send that love out into the world. Wrapping every human being in our love. And all of nature. Allowing the beauty of the sun and the earth and the sea and the animals and the trees and the flowers to soothe our spirits and strengthen us so that we may send our strength, our love, out into the world. And we are grateful, and so it is. What I like to do when I'm choosing a reading is to go to my bookcase and just reach out without looking and take down a book and open the book and see what's there for me. So this week came Charles Roth, More Power to You. He says, nobody knows better than I the burdens and challenges that people, good people, wonderful people, are called upon to face. To be a truth student or a truth teacher is far from sticking your head in the sand and saying, there are no problems, there is only God. We do that once in a while, don't we? Yeah. Sure, there is only God, but there are heartbreaking problems too. That is like saying there's no such thing as darkness, it's only the absence of light. There is only the sun which is perpetually shining. That's true, but what about those dark places where the sun doesn't get in? If you are in the darkness, the thing to do is to get out. From my experience, I have found that force doesn't do it, running away from it doesn't do it, crying doesn't do it, complaining and planning and conniving don't do it. Other people cannot do it for you. The only possible way to solve problems successfully and to live abundantly is to work with the spiritual principles taught by Jesus and applied in today's languages. Knowledge, needs, and environment. Persistently work with spiritual principle. And that right and perfect time, your faith will be justified. The power of persistence is truly a miracle-working power. The drip, drip, drip of water on a rock will in time cause the rock to yield. The power of persistence operates in what might seem to be an unusual way. For long periods at a time, there may seem to be very little outer change. Then all of a sudden, wow, there is a huge stride toward the goal. So that lesson is complete in itself. But he goes on with an example that really touched me. If you're in my generation, I'm sure it will ring true with you. If you're younger, you'll probably wonder what we're talking about, but here goes. I remember the time I learned to touch type. In order to be accepted as a student minister at Unity School, you had to be able to type 45 words a minute. This was because student ministers also worked in silent unity, and in order to speedily and efficiently answer the thousands of prayer requests that came into Unity daily, each worker had to be a good typist. When I took my first test, I averaged -5 words per minute. I practiced persistently every day. You would think with persistent practice that the rate of speed would increase gradually, a little bit each day. But somehow the law of persistence doesn't work that way. It seems to work in plateaus. For instance, I would stay at a 20-word-a-minute plateau for what seemed ever so long. Then one day, unexpectedly, and without any greater effort than the previous days, the rate bounded up to 30 or 32 words a minute. It went that way until that wonderful day when I made my 45 words per minute goal. So keep this in mind if you seem to be on a plateau as far as outer progress towards your goal is concerned. Persistently keep going. You never know when suddenly, easily, and triumphantly you will break through and experience the joy and the inner satisfaction of having your faith tested and vindicated. And now another song.
All right.
I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world. I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. I'm living love every day. I'm living love every day.
I'm living love every day.
I'm living love every day.
Love every day.
Spread peace along the way.
Spreading peace along the way.
Right time,
Right time.
right place.
Right place.
Living love every day. I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. I am alive, I am alive in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. It's a good one.
Eye contact. Yeah. Now I want bread.
That's a good one. So what does that mean about the other ones?
They're okay too.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying. Since we're meaning-making machines, we like to make meaning out of everything. So who was here 2 weeks ago for the pancake?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody, did you see how full it was? So I'm now thinking scientifically about this, but I maybe don't have enough data. Is it that I'm speaking this week that there's fewer people, or is it because there's no pancake breakfast? See?
No comment.
So, where you want to doubt yourself, it's really easy to jump into, oh, maybe it's me. Oh, maybe I should stop doing this.
No.
Anyhow,
But bring pancakes.
but yeah, that's it. Every time I speak, there will be a pancake breakfast for.
All right, I'll be here.
I think I'll start with one of my classmates this week sent me. Anybody heard of Dr. Emmett Fox? Yeah. Of course, he wasn't a Unity minister, but he was a New Thought minister. And he respected the work of Charles Fillmore a great deal and what Unity was up to. And so in around 1944, he authorized a pamphlet for Unity called The Golden Key. Anybody familiar with the 5-page, it's about a 5-page pamphlet? He said that he would like to have made it in 5 sentences, but he felt he needed 5 pages in order to illustrate. However, I just want to share, because it's kind of similar to your talk today, or the wise words you had, is that he's talking about the treatment of science, the science behind prayer. And so for Emmett, Dr. Fox, he says that you are the channel through which the divine action takes place, and your treatment will be just the getting of yourself out of the way. Right? So if we can get ourselves out of the way, we're well on our path to enlightenment, if you want to call it that. Beginners often get startling results the first time, for all that is essential is to have an open mind and sufficient faith to try the experiment. Apart from that, you may hold any views on religion or none at all. So there's really no prerequisites to this. Like, you don't need any requirements to come into this. You can just begin the process, and it works, apparently. As for the actual method of working, like all fundamental things, it is simplicity itself. All you have to do is this. Okay, are you ready? This is it. This is the only thing you ever have to do. Stop thinking about the difficulty, whatever it is, and think about God instead. That's it. pretty simple. This is the complete rule. And if only you will do this, the trouble, whatever it is, will disappear. It makes no difference what kind of trouble it is. And then comes the question of, well, what is God? Because if all I have to do is think of God and not whatever troubles are ailing me, then what is God? Well, fortunately, we have other Unity writers that have been able to define that for us. So allow me to share some Eric Butterworth with you. The Latin word spiritus, from which we get our word spirit, comes from a root that means to breathe, to blow, to live. Spirit, then, is life principle, the divine breath which God is breathing out as man and the universe. The word spirit implies unformed, unspecialized, unrestricted, limitless. When Jesus said God is spirit, he was not giving a definition, because you cannot define God. Jesus was simply giving a guide to direct our thoughts away from finite form or from thinking of God as a Superman. So makes me think of Genesis with the breath of life is put into us. So each of us is, in fact, exercising spirit. How many times a day do you think? If you're breathing, you're pretty much exercising spirit. So is that God itself? Is that the essence of God, that life blood, that desire to live, that wanting to breathe, that, if you try to hold your breath, you will automatically at some point go after that next breath. It's innate in us to do that. So that makes me think, well, if I'm breathing, whether I believe in God or not, whether I think there's a greater power or not, no matter how distant from that idea I am or how close I am to that idea, there's obviously God that is part of me. If that is the essence of God, if spirit is breath, if breath is spirit, then that is within me. So, I need some assistance today with this talk. And I'm hoping I can have 4 people volunteer to do something. Now, you're not going to be made foolish. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to be like, oh, we got one on you. It's all very safe, I promise. I just need 4 people to volunteer to go outside the room for a few minutes, and then we'll invite you in one at a time. And there's no trickery here, so trust me, there's absolutely no trickery here. I just need to demonstrate something.
We'll go.
Okay, 2, 3, 4, fabulous. Thank you. And you can go out, out any door you want, all out one door preferably. Yeah. So if you're gonna, why don't you go in the hall out here, Maya? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Awesome.
Go out any door, but go.
Yeah, go out any door, but go out that door. Exactly. That was the only trickery I'm doing. That's it.
You said no foolishness.
That's okay. I haven't done this before. Done like people participation in a sermon. That's no idea how this is going to go. So the idea here is we're going to split up this piece of paper into 4 parts. And then we're going to ask each person to come in and let me know what I give them. So we want them to name what it is I've put in their hand. The idea being that this is a piece of paper, but if I break it up into 4 parts, it's still a piece of paper, right? So let's see if they actually call it a piece of paper. All right. I also have different size pencils. All the pencils started this big, right? A little bigger than that. But if I gave you this, you would still say, I got a pencil, right? Okay, so here we go. Just one person, please.
Don't listen in, okay? Go down there and keep on chatting.
Come on up. Do you want to let everybody know who you are?
I'm Jen. I'm the mother of Isabel and Emmett.
Hi, Jen. All right, so there's no trick to this at all. I just want you to let me know what I've given you right now. What is this? What would you call this?
A blank piece of ripped paper.
Okay. And very specific. And what is this?
A green pencil crayon.
Okay.
That is also broken.
Okay. But you would say that that is a pencil, yes?
Pencil crayon
And a piece of paper?
and a piece of paper.
Okay, great. Thank you. Awesome. That's it. And our next person is coming in.
He picks who comes.
Come on up, Maya. It's okay. Come on up. No, come on up. Yeah. There's no trickery. I just need you, first of all, you can let everybody know who you are.
Oh, I'm Maya.
Okay. And then I just want you to name what I give you. Just very simple. There's no trickery. What would you call this?
A piece of paper.
Thank you. And then what would you call this?
Pencil.
Okay, awesome. So you got a piece of paper and a pencil.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Oh, I gotta bring them back.
No, that's it. Yeah, it's all over. It's over.
Easiest $10 you ever earned.
That's
Sorry, my fee is 20.
all right. Come on up. Thank you. Just let everybody know who you are.
I'm Ken.
Okay.
Ken Thompson.
I can. There's no trickery here.
Okay.
I just want you to answer honestly.
Why is there laughing then?
I don't know. Because everybody's having so much fun with this.
Okay.
I just want you to name what I give you. Just what would you call this?
A piece of paper,
Thank you. And what would you call that?
pencil.
Great. Thank you very much.
I get the laughing now.
And our last.
Can't make me.
Here, we'll give you a welcome.
There's resistance. There's resistance. That's right. We have to give him an applause because, come on up.
This is like the Price is Right. This is exciting.
All right. So let everybody know who you are.
I'm Nico Rhodes.
Okay. Thank you, Nico. There's no trickery here. I just want you to name what I give you. So what would you call this?
A piece of paper.
Okay, great. And what would you call that?
Tiny crayon.
Okay. Would you call it a pencil?
Sure. A
Okay.
pencil crayon,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
I had to lead you on that one.
No,
I'm
don't
sorry.
worry.
That's all right. Okay. Awesome. So it went okay for the first participation. I'll work on it. I'll work on my participation.
I tripped a little bit over on the pencil. So
That's okay. Ideally, if I had had at home 4 of these, it would have been much better, but I didn't. The point of this exercise was that we started with a whole piece of paper when you left the room, and I ripped it into 4 pieces, right? You still named it, though, as a piece of paper. So no matter how small if I had given you this, you would have said, oh, it's a piece of paper, right? This crayon or the pencil was of any size, it didn't matter. When it was left over, you still believed you were given a pencil in which to work with. This is the point of God to me. It doesn't matter how far away we are from it. It doesn't matter how close we are to it. God is always with us. And although some people in the world might seem, we might judge them and think, oh, they're so far away from God essence. And we might look down on them, yet they are holy God. Do you get that? They are wholly the essence of God. No matter what is going on in their life, no matter how distant they might seem from going to a church or being involved in a community such as Unity or something like that, they are 100% God, just as we are 100% God. The whole is in the part. My hand, if I cut it off, is still my hand. It's just not part of me anymore necessarily, but it's still my hand. I would still say, that's my hand. Ah! So what if we were to treat every person as if they were God? Because they are, in fact, God, are they not? I mean, you judge for yourself what your interpretation of God is. I have one here from Paul Tillich. He was a 20th century German-American Christian existentialist philosopher. That's a Lutheran Protestant theologian. He taught at Union Theological Seminary, Harvard Divinity School, and the University of Chicago. He referred to God as the ground of our very being. In his book, The Shaking of the Foundations, he says, the name of this infinite and inexhaustible depth and ground of all being is God. That depth is what the word God means. So our own depth, our own, even if what I interpret from this is that even if we're thinking like life isn't that big a deal, there is an essence in us that has us feel like there's something happening. Like there's something more to just getting out of bed in the morning and breathing. There is something there for us to explore. And if that word has not much meaning for you, translate it and speak of the depths of your life, of the source of your being, of your ultimate concern, of what you take seriously without reservation. And when I think of that, and I think of anybody else in the world, the hardest, just let me know by show of hands here, and if you want to type in, if you're watching on the internet, if you want to type something in, how many here judge other people?
Doing it right now.
It's unanimous, right? Right, and when we're judging those other people, are we thinking really great things all the time?
Often not.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes we're judging them as being awesome. Oh, that was really great, and we're congratulating them. But how often is it a judgment of not niceties, of things of disparaging comments, something we might not want to say to them because we know it would hurt their feelings or, they would make them feel bad, and we would feel bad saying it, yet we're still thinking it. And so what if we realize that no matter where somebody is, no matter what harm they might be doing in the world, no matter how far away they may seem from God, they are actually God, and we were to treat them as such. If we were to treat ourselves as God, what would that look like? I think it would look pretty great. I know I have a lot of work to do. Anybody else have some work to do on that? Yeah, maybe just a little bit. I'm so close.
Nico and I are almost there.
It's interesting. Have you ever had this experience? You see a sunset, or you're driving in your car and the sun's hitting these mountains and it looks so majestic, and you're thinking like, wow, that is so amazing. And if you saw it every day, it kind of loses its vibrancy for us. We could pick up a rock outside and think the same thing. This is incredible. But it's just a rock. It's no big deal. Yet it's part of all of this. It's the entirety of it. So is God in all of us and in all things? No matter how small the part, is that not all part of God? At least for my definition. I don't think of God as a person out there hanging out in the sky, judging. If we're gods, we're the judgers. We're the God that's judging, right? Not that infinite, abundant source. I don't believe that. You can never be separated from God because you are an expression of God. So Meister Eckhart, who was around from 1260 to 1327, had this feeling when he said that God expects only one thing of you, and that is that you should stop thinking of yourself as a created being and let God be God in you. Let God be God in you. And again, it's whatever that interpretation of God is for you. I know for me, it carried a lot of trouble for most of my life, that word God. I struggled with it. And I'm not sure if I've shared this before, but when I started at Unity on the ministerial path, one of the classes I had to do was spiritual and emotional intelligence. So you can probably guess how poorly I was doing in that class at the beginning. Spiritual and emotional intelligence was a series of questions I had to answer. So there was this test. It was like 15 pages long. And the idea was you weren't to think about it. You were to just answer as quickly as you could every question that came up. And so there was this section that was discussing my childhood religion. and how I felt about it now. And so my score ended up, as I answered that, this indicated my spiritual awareness or my spiritual path. Out of 5, my score was 0. 0 out of 5. And so I had a meeting with the teacher, the instructor, to go over my results. And one of the questions on there was designed around how likely are you to use tools or ideas from your childhood religion? And I was like, no way, never. And then she says to me, she goes, well, when you study in class, how many Bible study classes have you taken at Unity? I'm like, oh, a whole bunch. Yeah, we do metaphysical interpretation of the Bible. And it dawned on me, my entire childhood religion was based on the very book that I am now studying and reinterpreting for myself. Yet I didn't see it in the moment. I saw that as a separate thing somehow, and yet it was the same instruction, just I was changing my thoughts around it. I was able to rewrite how I interpreted it. So then God became a word that no longer caused a shock in my system, because I was able to see like, oh, it's the same thing. It's just a different idea of the same thing. And that was a great healing moment for me, to let go of all of my story around my childhood religion experience and able to love and embrace it. That's what's available for us if we want to investigate where our thoughts and feelings come from, to understand that there's wholeness in it. We just might have to look. We might have to dig into that little part to find what's whole. I'll leave us with Eric Butterworth again. You are the individualization of God. You are the presence of God at the point where you are. Thus, it is true of you as it was of Jesus, I and the Father are one. You are an individualized part, but the whole is always in the part. Thus, God is within you. However, God is not in you in the same sense that a raisin is in a bun. That is not unity. Yeah, I know. It's Eric Butterworth. He's brilliant. God is in you as the ocean is in a wave. The wave is nothing more nor less than the ocean expressing as a wave. Imagine trying to cut off a wave and taking it. What would you now have? The ocean. You'd have the ocean in your hands. Yet when you grabbed it, it was a wave. It's a beautiful metaphor to think about. No matter how small the amount of ocean you take out of the ocean, you still have the ocean. And so no matter how someone might seem, no matter how we might seem at times, we are God. We are connected. And we can all try to live as if everybody else is as well. So that's my challenge for everybody. For one day, 1 hour, 10 minutes, to try to hold that space that in each of us, each person is God, and we will treat them as such. Namaste. And we can take a moment. If you'll join me for some quiet time, some meditation, let's take a moment and consider that. Consider ourselves and everyone else as God. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. And if that's not okay where you are, I invite you to find a spot to soften your gaze. And begin with spirit, with breath. Noticing that you are breathing in that you are exhaling and breathing out. And that with every breath, life is happening. And I invite you to remember that no matter where you are, no matter what trouble you might be facing, God is there with you. And you can turn your focus to a breath, to an exhale, to your heart beating. And allow yourself to be present. As was written in Psalm 82, I said, "Ye are gods." Have a blessed day, everybody.
Okay, I've been turning over this idea in my head ever since Thomas did his talk, so we're gonna try it, and if it's a terrible idea, then it's a terrible idea. But I need your
first.
Yeah, thank you. No, it would not. You okay, comfortable singing something for me?
Yeah.
It's an irrelevant question. You're gonna do it anyway.
Rhetorical.
So I was watching. I was on YouTube, and this little reel came up, and it was one of my favorite pianists, Brad Meldau. For those of you who are not familiar with Brad Meldau, he's like Bach meets Keith Jarrett. He's phenomenal. I mean, he's unbelievable. He can improvise absolutely anything. And he played a very simple 3-minute piece, which we're going to play a version of. And what really made it so beautiful is the entire time he had this going. With his thumb, with his pinky. It would move around. Sometimes it'd be up here, sometimes it'd be down here. And it was just always present. Sometimes it was hidden. Yeah, it'll all make sense in a minute. Then that combined with the fact that I saw Jacob Collier a couple weeks ago on his world tour, and he had the whole audience singing about half of the show. So, and it was super cool. So we're gonna do a very simple version. So all you have to do, in any range you want, is, and any vowel you want, but like something like. take breaths whenever you need to. Thank you for doing that. That was a little bit terrifying, but it was kind of awesome. And great endurance, by the way. That was very impressive.
All right.
That was fun, right? We all got to kind of vibe together. It was nice.
We have had an audience participation day for sure.
I just followed Thomas on that one.
Okay. So we have some announcements coming up now. Lots happening in the next few days. What's up, Nanaimo? Once a month, we get together for a town hall meeting. This is your opportunity to ask questions, make suggestions, come up with your ideas. Please join us. And you loved it so much, we will do it again.
Yes! Yes!
I wanted to schedule myself to speak that week so that I could get all the pancake crowd, but Reverend Vicky will be here next week.
The pancake crowd.
So Reverend Vicky and pancakes, you don't want to miss that.
Oh, man.
Okay. And 2 weeks from today, we had advertised a concert with Lady O, and she unfortunately had to reschedule for a later date, so Nico and Joshua together. Oh, wow. So, in person or Zooming, but I have tickets today. You do not have to go on the computer to buy a ticket. They're in this pocket right here.
Old school.
I'll see you at coffee time. All right. Unity Vancouver Island in Victoria. They have, as usual, their prayer circle on the first Monday of the month at 2:30. And I want to go down for this. On Monday the 9th, Anna Harvey, who does the communications for Unity Canada, is going to speak on how to hug a cactus. Could you come up with a better title than that? And then the following week, Reverend Vicky will be doing a workshop there on the power of forgiveness. So it might be worth the drive to Victoria. We are going back to spirit groups. We tried this a couple of years ago. We had some success, and we're jumping back into it this time. It's an opportunity for small groups to connect and to maintain that connection when you can't be here, and to come together and develop connections, family, community. So there's several of them starting this week. The first one will be Valerie Childs, and Valerie is here. She's going to be doing a book study online on Zoom on The Eye of the Storm, which is a book written by Gary Simmons, very, very relevant to our teaching. And so you can email Valerie to register for that, and her email is there, and it's also in the newsletter. And the next one is Dave Tyler, who is a wonderful photographer, and he's got a photography group. And again, the information is in the newsletter, all the details, and his email address there, so you can register for that with him. And then Sharon McLeod and I will be co-hosting a Foundations of Unity class. So this is a great refresher, or great if you're new and want to know just what does Unity teach, where did this teaching come from, who's involved, what we teach, all that stuff. So again, you can register with me for that, and that will be on Zoom as well, because we have a couple of people back east who would like to join us. And so the thing about Zoom, or about spirit groups, is that anybody can host one. It doesn't take a lot of training, and we will provide what training is necessary. And it's the 5 C's, and it's all about connection, communication. I can't even remember what they are. But they're but I have it on my teaching manual.
Okay.
But it's about coming together, but it's also about setting goals for your group. So you're going to study a book or have some kind of an interest around it, but you're also going to, one of them is challenge yourself. You can take another, like Thomas referred to, the spiritual intelligence bit of, not a test, but just an assessment.
That's one of the C's.
Yeah, one of the C's, right. And you get to say, what's an area where I'm resisting a little bit, maybe I don't want to. When they say, who wants to pray us out, I do not want to pray online. That's how you get to challenge yourself, so you sign up for prayer online. Good things like that. So there's usually about 6 lessons, plus one night or one session of a social event together, and one session of a project that you do together, a community project. You might find out what's going on in Nanaimo, and you all go out and assist that day. So it really builds a strength of commitment and connection. So please think about it, how you want to participate in that. And there'll be other classes coming up as soon as you sign up. And so our usual ongoing events, 2nd and 4th Tuesdays is the prayer circle in Comox. Seated Tai Chi in Nanaimo is now actually going to be just Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. It's the advanced session, but if you really want to jump in, you can. You just have to work a little harder right now. Thursdays, Leanne is here with A Course in Miracles, and Fridays is Board Games Night in the other building. And Bunch of volunteers needed, folks. We're back from COVID. We're coming back in person. So we would welcome people who want to step forward and be greeters and make people feel welcome as they arrive here. We would also welcome a hospitality team. Somebody to make sure the coffee gets served after service. Somebody to clean up. Anybody can clean, right? Just need one Sunday per month. And also we would like conference team. Margaret is taking that on. We're going to be hosting the Unity Canada Conference here at the Bethlehem Retreat Centre in October. So we're going to be doing things like picking people up at the airport, making name tags and welcome bags, and maybe seeing if somebody needs a billet. Those are the kinds of things that team will be looking at. So sign up with Margaret for that. And the next one is if you have an extra bed in your place and you could welcome a billet, let Jen know that. But there's her email. So lots of opportunities to come back and be part of Unity in person again. And Talk the Talk after service today with Mavis. There's your meeting ID. You can go there directly after service and share your comments and ideas about what happened this morning. And another of the ways that you make a difference and really contribute is in your ongoing financial support. We really want to thank you for that. Everyone has stepped up throughout the past 2 or 3 years, and we are healthy, and we appreciate that, and we just welcome your contribution in whatever way is suitable for you. And our mini conference last week, I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank Joshua and Thomas for the outstanding music. That was appreciated all across the country. And people are asking me, can we please have Joshua for the Canadian conference too? So we'll be talking. And Leslie, who sat by my elbow and bailed me out every time I made a Zoom error. And Kyle, Brian, and Don, who are in here making things go. So thank you for all of that. And now Ken is going to introduce a new song.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, you are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace.
Love it.
Nice job.
Bravissimo.
All righty, let's tell the kids what we think of them. We see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. Thank you all for being here. Let's recite our prayer for protection and close with the peace song. The light that is God surrounds me. I am one with the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am one with the love. The power that is God protects me. I am one with the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. So it is.